name is Sandra Cantu, and my speech is about supporting the death penalty. Have you ever thought about if the person standing or sitting next to you is a killer, a rapist? If so, what would you want from the government if the person had killed a loved one, relative, or someone you may have known? Should that person receive the death penalty? What is a death penalty? The death penalty is also known as capital punishment and execution. They are all terms for the legal process of putting a condemned person to death as a punishment for a crime they have committed and been convicted of. There are 5 different methods of execution. First, lethal injection, a combination of 3 drugs, which include sodium pentothal, which renders a prisoner conscious, bocranium bromide, which is a muscle relaxant that paralyzes the diaphragm and lungs, potassium chloride, which causes cardiac arrest. Each of these chemicals is very lethal in the amounts administered. Electrocution, also known as execution by electricity, also known as the electric chair. Lethal gas, also known as a gas chamber, consisting of a steel chamber in which the poisonous gas is introduced. Firing squad. As of now, no state currently allows death by a firing squad. Hanging is a suspension of a person by a noose or ligature around the neck, which can be one of the fastest and most painless methods of execution. History of capital punishment. Capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, has been around since the 18th century. Capital punishment moved to America in 1608 AD. The death penalty has the most changed during the 20th century. Every year, approximately 25,000 murders happen in the United States. Statistics show for every 860 murders, there's only been 1 execution. Death penalty can save lives. By putting murders to death, you can save future lives. Upholding the death penalty ultimately leads to less death. People think twice about killing someone if they know that the death penalty is the punishment. The stronger penalty for someone's actions, the greater the deterrent. The population of prison systems is growing due to judges enforcing longer sentences on prisoners to enforce the gravity of committing a crime. Inmates are often released on early parole dates due to overpopulation in prisons. Less generous parole is being received in order to keep criminals off the streets. Career criminals are being released back into society to make room for the first-time offenders. Overcrowding in prisons has become a huge problem. Criminals whose crimes are considered to be of low danger are having their sentences reduced. Making the death penalty process quicker and more efficient. The amount of time it takes from the date of conviction to the date of execution generally has been up to 10 years. Since 1990, there has been a record increase in the populations of prisons. 1 million inmates have been added nationwide to create 70% increase. This enforces prisons to take 475,000 more inmates than designed to hold. In 2002, there was a record high of 1.86 million inmates sitting in prison cells. In the past decade, federal and state prisons have doubled to 925,000, while local and jails have tripled to 450,000 inmates. How much is it costing taxpayers to keep criminals imprisoned? On average, it costs prisons each year. Elderly prisoners average 69,000 due to medical conditions and health care, which doesn't include special construction of ramps for wheelchairs. Taxpayers' money is going to the defense of those who cannot afford an attorney. Prisoners are given allowances, free medical benefits, educational benefits, and religious benefits, which all come from us, the taxpayers. Some Americans might think innocent people are being sentenced to death. DNA testing and other methods of modern crime science has now, most effectively than ever, eliminated most uncertainty as to a person's guilt or innocence. No system of justice can produce results which are 100% certain at the time, which will make any system rely upon human testimony for proof. Risks of making mistakes with death penalty cases is very small. There is no credible evidence to show that any innocent person has been executed since the death penalty was reactivated in 1976. Murderers, rapists, and even pedophiles should be punished for the crimes they have committed and should pay for the price of their wrongdoings. Having a death penalty in our society is not only humane, but is also justice being better served. In conclusion, the opposition to the death penalty is based on the human rights. What right does the government have to take away a life? Others would say that they have no rights, but would say the law that runs our lives, so why have control over who gets to live and who gets to die? Therefore, the death penalty should not be abolished in the criminal justice system. Thank you.